black back home. They are in their change strip of Blanc tonight. A club that should be inspired by these surroundings. Wembley, a place where Stade Toulousain should fit in well. Their first visit here, the 4 times champions of Europe, but nobody else has done that. Toulouse did the necessary last week, the bonus point win against Italian opposition. Now they take on England's leading side this season. Census Johnson, little brother James, little that is when it comes to age and not size. He's on the opposition bench tonight, but size not limited to these two siblings. Toulouse, a giant team.
And nobody quite sums up Toulouse like that man, Clement Poitrenaud. He's capable of the most technically perfect touches 1 minute, and then the most casual, calamitous errors the next. Think back to the Wasp final, whether centre or full back, he steals a game or he throws it in a flash.
Well, as ever, Saracens have put on a show off the field. Can they do it now on the field? In the end, hanging on last week in Galway, but it was a win, and a win here at Wembley tonight with Zebre to come twice before Christmas. And Saracens will be stacking the chips come the end of round 4. Saracens have size of their own. Billy Vunipola, Joubert, Berger back in the starting back row. But this man had to stay. He's at 6 tonight.
And there is no more important piece in the Saracens attacking jigsaw than Billy's brother, Mako Vunipola. There are an awful lot of international backs who can only dream of his skills in the loose. But tonight, Macapola has to play his part in a scrum. But Toulouse are set to attack from the first to the last minute.
Nigel Owens, as good as they get these days. He proved that in Johannesburg recently. Eric Bevan is the television match official. Sean Brickle and Wade Davis assist. And so does Redcap. 3 nights ago here, England were booking their place in Brazil 2014. The winners here tonight, well, they won't book their place in the last 8 of the Heineken Cup, but they will go a long way to doing so. Such is the pivotal nature of this game, and it's Saracens here at Wembley who get us underway. And the pitch looks to have recovered very well indeed from all that football. And McAllister, the Manchester United Academy man, finds first surging, powerful run from Saracens and Vunipola. Toulouse look to play quickly. McAllister again, Toussaint. Out it goes to Poitrenaud in the centre tonight. Uge. He goes Strattle, Wigglesworth. Whistle's gone now. So we'll get our first set piece and the scrum. And these two big packs.
Oscar White in the tackle, yes?
There's no doubt at all that Toulouse will see the scrum as an area attack. I think in the line-out, Saracens have 3 really fine technicians in Hargreaves, Borthwick and Joubert. But in the scrum, Toulouse have not just a very weighty 8, but they have got the most spectacular bench. And that's why I said from 1st to 80th, Toulouse will try and attack. See if Mako Vunipola is any sort of weakness, and Matt Stevens.
There is Stevens against Scott Ferreira, the Praetorian. Stevens, of course, originally from South Africa himself. He was international gaps with England and the Lions. Wigglesworth puts in, and it's a penalty at the scrum. Early power comes on from Ferreira.
Very good start there for Toulouse. For all the stellar talent behind the scrum, the basis of their fantastic European record, their 4 victories, has been in doubt. A pack that they can go back to, and base solid foundations. Now, looks like it's going to be Maxime Medard kicking. I'm pretty certain that the fullback has shed a pound or two and he looks sharper for it. Really good player. But here's a pack that hasn't shed a pound or two, especially when you think of Gallan at number 8. Very dynamic there. Once the ball was fed and you're allowed to shot, Toulouse were quick.
Christopher Tolofua throws. Not taken cleanly by Gallan. Was Joubert. Came on early last week because of injury to Will Fraser. He misses this one with a bang on the shoulder. Nothing too serious. Toussaint again. And there's Ferreira. Was that obstruction? No, it wasn't, says the referee. Tolofua. He's driven out.
Interesting set piece, isn't it? First penalty at the scrum to Toulouse, but then Toulouse from the penalty, their line out. Very poor there. And you can see that Borthwick getting in front of Gallan. Gallan is a mighty piece of meat, but he's a huge man. He's not easy to get up and he's not easy to shift around. And that's why you imagine the angle where he sits is so important. Saracens, you will sense throughout this game, will think that they can get the better of Tolofua and the Toulouse line-up.
Scott Brits. Here's Taylor. Preferred in the centre to Tompkins, but of course, as Mark McCall was saying before kick-off, rotation very much part of the selection process with the Saracens, and he's been serving them well. It was Ashton with the chase up the wing, his first tackle, and Yannick Nyanga right back to his best form. And he made his international debut nearly 10 years ago. McAllister with the break. Here is Uge, such a threat. Chipped through his net for Medard. And good is going to have to be exactly that, and he is the fullback with the opposing fullback Medard breathing down his neck.
Well, Wigglesworth, the scrum half, tries to put the pressure on the fly half of McAllister, but he just offers him the inside. Look at that big hole there, and there's the inside ball, a lovely ball there to Houget. Just a little less weight on that kick, and Good is forced to carry that one over. Early threat from Toulouse.
Farrell restarts. Houget again, plenty of early ball then for Toulouse. Toussaint looks to use it. It'll be a very important figure for France now, with injury to Machinot and Parra being suspended. Nigel Owens says another penalty to the visiting side.
Hargreaves this time. Now this is within range of Luke McAllister. Huge boot. He is not the most consistent, but he has vast distance, and we've seen him so many times in Europe on his day, punishing teams.
Mentioned that he was part of the Manchester United Academy, very talented all-round sportsman. Of course, grew up in England. His father, Charlie, was a rugby league player in the Northwest with Oldham.
Nobez knows he's really important today. He's a brilliant footballer, McAllister, but is he a brilliant fly half? He hasn't always proved that, but on his day, he can tear teams to pieces.
Can certainly give the rugby ball a biff. We know that off the kicking tee, and he's done exactly that there. Very close. Good effort from McAllister, long way out. I suppose when you strike it as well as he does, he'll be very disappointed to have missed.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to put much into it. That is close. That is close. Distance not an issue, accuracy was.
For one way, it looks as if it was going in, that one, didn't it? Going over. Wigglesworth. That's a neat kick from Wigglesworth. He's got a very cultured left boot that serves his side well.
Very brilliant basics from the Saracens. Drop out 22. The key is they win the restart, and from the restart they get the ball back. Instead of defending 30 metres out, Wigglesworth puts a lovely sort of 50-metre kick there. But the restart was excellent. The forwards did well. beautiful 60-metre play from the Saracens.
Former Sale player like Luke McAllister. Taken by Maestri. A member of the French squad for the Autumn Internationals, and this very effective drive away from their own 22. And the men in white tonight. That's Joe Decore, formerly of Castres, of course. The French champions. Well, that was inviting an interception. It was good onto Brits. And Mako Bonapola, brothers in arms these days for the Saracens club. Oh, this is good running, really good running from Wiles. Inside, Ashton, back to Wiles. Came out of nothing. Absolutely nothing, but they conjured it up. It will be checked, the passing.
I think the reverse pass, the last pass. It's the final ball, isn't it, to Wiles. It didn't look forward from here. Boy, was Gallan exposed there, the number 8. Your back row forward's got to do better now. The inside pass there is fine. It's the ball from Ashton.
It's the last one, isn't it, that Nigel Owens wanted to have another look at. That ball from Chris Ashton.
That's back. Caught. I mean, if the hands go forward, last season, you can see that not being given. I'd love to see a side angle of it.
Nigel Owens is looking himself up at the big screen. Ashton is trying to get those hands back. He's making every effort to do so. Did he succeed?
I'm looking at the ball, leaving the hands backwards, and I'm going to award the try.
Nigel Owens is sounding very happy.
Correct. Left the hands backwards.
And it is a try. Once again, Saracens cut through an opposition defence. They've done it 17 times before tonight this season. That's try number 18 in their 7th game. But as you say, Stuart, Toulouse rather created the opening there, didn't they?
Well, just a lack of pace there. McAllister with a crazy ball there to Poitrenaud, and from the turnover, look at Gallan now, the big number 8, just doesn't get there. Wiles gets through the gap. It's a lovely play from Chris Wiles, and Ashton is very alert with the return ball there. It's well finished, but Toulouse will wonder about their defence from that.
And it was clumsy the way the ball went to Poitrenaud. As I said before, it was always inviting an interception, wasn't it?
Well, that wasn't Poitrenaud's fault, it was poor from McAllister. And I just thought maybe Toulouse have had a bit of joy in the first 10 minutes, playing 20 metres out. But this time, they have gone too far, and the decision-making from McAllister was poor. You get turned over in your 22 by a good team, and you pay the price. Just has to make the tackle better now. He's got to take man and ball there. Well played, Wiles, though.
Yes, he shifts. We saw that against Connacht last week. So often used in the back three. Wiles centre tonight. That's a knock-on. And you're right, we should be careful when we apportion blame to Poitrenaud. Don't want the bloke getting a complex, do we?
No, that wasn't his fault. It was a poor decision by McAllister. So, you know, we're seeing that McAllister steps inside. Wigglesworth gives a lovely ball to Huget. A couple of minutes later, he really forces the game. This is a big game. This is a high-quality match of rugby, and you just can't make errors of that nature. And if you watch this again, he's delayed it, he's waited, he's got to take the tackle there, because Ashton and Wiles are just waiting to smash Poitrenaud.
Bind. Set.
Yes, might as well have put a red cross on that ball as it went to Poitrenaud.
You two are fight to fight, please. Get your bindings, please. I want to know when you're in the back. Win the hit, control. Take the hit, control.
This is an area where Saracens will look to hit back. Toulouse having got an early penalty at the scrum.
Crouch.
Toulouse will definitely think that this is an area they can really control all game.
Yes, 9.
It's coming on again. Up comes Vunipola. Just got that out in time. Saracens. Ashton kicks it to Maydar, who sets off. Good tackling, and he's fallen for Ashton, who chips through. Now, was he pulled back? Might well have been. Dusatois goes down.
Hands away, Saracens, left.
Might just have been enough to put Ashton out of his stride there. Back from Galan, and Toulouse almost forced into a panic again as McAllister clears. So Saracens have got them on some early ropes here.
Well, Toulouse are rattling themselves. What's Maxime Medard doing here? 7-0 down and just trying to force the issue. Ball turned over, that's definitely late. I don't think it's yellow, but it's clearly a penalty there from Dusan, and that should be 10-0.
Absolutely, the arms went out. He tried to do exactly what he achieved.
Yeah, Ashton kicked that ball away. He was in pursuit. Maybe it was a yellow. Let off there for Toulouse, but boy, they're playing some daft rugby in the first 12 minutes.
Wigglesworth. There's Taylor, another versatile player. We've seen him play many times on the wing. And full back too, in the centre tonight, inside centre as well. Billy Vunipola. Wigglesworth. Brits just let it come to him, didn't force it. Ashton again. Found that one behind him. And that is a knock forward off Chris Ashton, who's been back to try scoring form this season. Try last week and scored in the first 3 games of the season in the English Premiership.
Toulouse are walking a line here. Saracens Johnson wants this tackle now. There's no attempt to put a shoulder in. That is a clear penalty there, and Toulouse are getting away with lots at the moment. In the end, it's not great passing there, but no intent there. The ball is given. Brilliant from the Saracens, back 3, but Saracens Johnson, a very lucky big boy there. This is where you're 9 and 10. You've got to settle the game. Galan maybe get them to an infield position and then get territory and get out of your 22.
It was Bezzy and Barak, the young pairing last week, and they went very well. Of course, it was against Zebre. Get a penalty from the scrum, and that is one area which is going to plan for Toulouse, and they can take comfort from that.
Vunipola at that time penalised. Saracens Johnson might have been lucky to get away with not being penalised in the loose, but that was a good, strong scrum. But Toulouse really could do with just taking the pace out of this game, getting some ball from this giant pack of theirs and playing position. Vunipola, heir apparent at least for the first test for England against Australia, probably the second, under pressure there.
Tolofer to Nyanga, who you would have thought will get an awful lot of line-out ball tonight, the international back row forward. Tolofer's been capped, still only young, 19 years of age, out of the Toulouse Academy. Not in the current squad. He's gone away to learn his craft a little bit more before returning to the international scene. There's Ferreira. Galan goes in. And that's a penalty. We know it's within range.
I just wonder whether they want to go for the corner here. Try and put a bit more of heat on it. It's certainly within the range of McAllister, and he's going for it. But really, when you think how Toulouse have dominated the scrum, they've been winning the penalties, yet they're 7-0 down, they're going to be very upset with themselves. Here's Ferreira making the initial bust, giving the target, and the Toulouse pack will think, come on, Luke, put this through. We've done some hard work in the first 15, and you boys behind the scrum have been playing, I don't know what, but not top-level Heineken rugby.
mentioned Barak, Jean-Pascal Barak, ex-Spirits, youngster who played last week at fly half. Also in the Toulouse squad, of course, Lionel Boxis. McAllister, the man chosen for the big game. Again, he's given it everything he's got, and it's getting closer.
Inside.
Wigglesworth and Farrell, nice and deep, to enable him to do exactly that. Might be just feeling it's not going to be his night, but a long way to go.
Slightly disappointed for Toulouse. You've got one chaser at the apex and then 3 or 4 guys who are not really closing in, and that was a chance to put pressure on when it came off the post.
Nicely worked from Tolofua to Maestri, then it was Galin. Pereira takes it on, in goes Toussaint. To Corey in the Samoan squad for the Autumn Internationals.
Only one white player in back.
Toussaint again. McAllister to Auger. So often takes the tackle and manages to get that ball away. And Stevens clearly not staying on his feet. And well and truly on the wrong side, Matt Stevens there. Now the way McAllister has been going.
First 10, 12 minutes. It's not going to carry on, see where somebody's going to go. No, there's no questions I'm asking you. Go and have a word, get the discipline order. Off you go, please, thank you.
Well, the sequence of the kicking is getting a little bit closer every time, so you'd expect him to get this one.
Very interesting here. McAllister has Johnson inside. He's looking for the threat there, and then what you're going to see is this ball on the outside, just trying to threaten here. But you go out to Medard. The danger is you're fixed on the inside check. Medard not quite through because Saracens read it outside.
McAllister.
Oh dear.
Wide from there. Now he really will think it's not his night. That is bread and butter territory.
Well, the first 2 strikes are well struck and they're misses. That's an absolute shocker there. It's not through, it doesn't tell the tale when 2 have been from 50-odd metres, but that's a horror. In contrast, Farrell's kicks are good and they give his chasers a brilliant chance.
Auger. Again, just stands tall in the tackle. Then it was Maestri and Johnston. Well, the warning was given to Steve Borthwick and his team, and David Strettle, because of that offence, the latest one in a line of offences, although Saracens fans might say there were 1 or 2 missed at the other end by the referee, but David Strettle and Saracens knew it was coming, and he's gone for 10 minutes.
Well, there's no doubt, had Nargeloan seen the others from Toulouse, he would have warned them in the same way. He didn't. He did see the Saracens one, and Strettle takes out Nyanga there, and he has just said 5 penalties in 18 minutes, and it's not hugely bad from Strettle, but he's taken the hit there from the team there. 5 before, that's the 6th, and that's the first yellow card.
To Corey again with the take. Tries to yank the pack forward, and he's made a pretty good job of it. Tolofua has it, Galin rejoins, so too Census Johnston. And brother James watches from the Saracens bench.
This is strong.
Could do with James at the moment, could do with the extra man. They're Strettle down, but that's not the issue. It's the forward suffering here. And Prince has taken over the line.
Up, please, lads.
What a drive from Toulouse. What a body shake. They splintered Saracens. Absolutely splintered them.
But did they get it down?
Any reason why I can't?
Oh, now that's
any reason why you can't award the try?
A key question.
Onus on Derek Bevan to see a non-try here. Tolofua, is he over there? Yeah, that's a try. Ferreira knows that.
Well, Brits just couldn't hold him, and young Tolofua going through there. We're not seeing any reason why it can't be awarded. There's a leg in there from Ferreira, unless it was grounded on the boot of the Toulouse man. And that really is conjecture.
Well, this is one of those things where you say, well, I can't see it touch down, but that is not what the TMOs are asked to say.
There is no reason I can give you for not awarding the try.
It felt like a try. It deserved to be a try.
Miles, it felt like a try about 15 metres out. And the role of Yannick Nianga, we've talked about his line-out skills and his athleticism, but in that last 2 metres, when Toulouse had lost a couple of men, they'd shed them. Nianga hit Tolofua so hard there, quite brilliant. Great control here. Here's the explosion of pace. What's Nianga? Now, boom, over.
Changing kicker. That is Toussaint. The scrum half, and he's going close to the post, but he's the right side of it. Jean-Marc Toussaint, who's kicked internationally before, of course, so it should be no problem to him. McAllister either removing himself or being removed from the role. Guinoves maybe just sent on a message, or got the feeling from McAllister sending a message to him that it just wasn't going quite right. But it is going a whole lot better for Toulouse now, with the equalising try and conversion. And they've rather shown themselves the way, haven't they? The power game.
It was pretty obvious, wasn't it? I mean, the backs were messing around in the wrong part of the field. They've squeezed the penalties because they've been too powerful, especially in the scrum. And that was just a class Toulouse catch and drive. We said they don't have mobility and flexibility, but when they do claim that ball, they've got so much weight and they've got so much technique. And if Toulouse can keep playing down in Saracens territory, it's going to be a very hard evening for Sarries.
Just watching from the stand here, I was shocked when they got to the try line. It happened so quickly.
Saracens not used to being marched like that. We're a step up.
So a test of their physical but also mental strength here, Saracens, having conceded that sort of try. I think we know how they will answer it, though. And enough about the club in recent times. Wigglesworth. Oh, Berger going crashing in there, the Premiership Player of the Month, the first month of the season. Brits, injured pride. Alex Good. Wigglesworth.
Oh, good place.
Senses Johnston. Farrell out to Taylor. There's no Ashton there at the moment. Wiles, who was helping to chase the ball through. Well played by Maydar. That's Nianga. McAllister. Well, he's still in a bit of a hole. His pack isn't, but it's not right for McAllister tonight, and he's under pressure.
And because he's not a natural 10, when things go wrong, he just loses his bearings a bit. We're talking about losing bearings. Oof. Fantastic hit on Berger there as he's knocked backward by Senses Johnston. Talked that he was illegal before, but that's an absolute beauty there from Senses. So for Toulouse, it's going pretty well up. It's going brilliantly up front. They're looking good in the contact. But at half-back, they're having desperate problems because of McAllister, and they're still just trying to play a little bit too much. Toulouse should be just saying, get down in their half and put the squeeze on.
They've lost their last 7 games away from home, Toulouse. Their poorest run on their travels since the game went professional. But if they come up with more of this, they won't be leaving Wembley tonight as a losing team. There'll be very little that Saracens can do about it. Here's Brits. Was eventually a knock-on.
Disappointing for Saracens there. That's a really good attacking situation. Nothing wrong with the initial line-out. Just a technical error there. And the problem for Saracens now is from these scrums, this is a good situation. Claiming it very well there. They get the initial drive and then the knock-on. I think it's Mako Vunipola's right foot that just stops Brits getting his hands on it, and then it slides forward. Now again, they've got options here. Does Galan, giant, go in field? Farrell, and give a better angle for McAllister, or does Dusan, and I think this is the call at 9, does the scrum half just try and take a bit of the heat off his 10 at the moment?
Set. Yes, sir.
That looked a little bit second row. But here's Galan doing what he does best, and it's beautiful play to Nyanga, who's striding across the Wembley turf. There's captain Florian Fritz. Galan does well to keep it alive. But it is forward off the Toulouse hand.
Very easy there. The foundations of the scrum are good, and this is why Galan is starting at the moment instead of Picamole, because this bloke is an absolute beast. Picks it up, just slides through. Wigglesworth is getting done on the inside too easily, and Fritz gets outside Nyanga. But that will be a worry for Saracens. A good Toulouse scrum, and that's very easy. Nimble feet for a big man, and a lovely offload to Nyanga. Straight fend, lovely little pop pass.
Another one of the over 18 stone brigade, and he's not afraid to use it. But as you say, Stuart, he's got really good feet as well. He's not afraid to use those. He could be a sensational rugby player at the highest level. I know Toulouse have great hopes for him, not just within the club but also internationally.
And when he runs out of puff, which he will do at some stage, on will come Louis Picamole.
Like for like. Free kick at the scrum, that's a bit of relief for Saracens.
I'm saying yes, 9, and you're pushing. Hold the ball.
A bit too early there, Toulouse, a bit too keen. We understand why. They've got it to Saracens there. Ashton must let the man drop. The man is Jose Aguirre. Seen too much of him so far. There's got a lovely offload from the big man to Nyanga again. Rolled out by Tolafua. Dusan. Well, that's the worst pass of the lot from the scrum half. And Florian Fritz gets his side going again. Another run from Fritz. This is lovely rugby now. Johnson. And it's involving the big men too. Fritz, well, it didn't go forwards. And here's Dusatois. On to Maydar. Poitrenaud trying to get there as well. That's the halfway line. McAllister. Nyanga lost in the tackle. Well defended Saracens. Now they try an offload of their own from Brits to Vunipola. That's Mako Vunipola. Wiles, he's tackled. Best passage of the game so far. And it ends in a Saracens penalty award.
Toulouse almost too excited by the excellence of their offloading play again. Galan heavily involved in some super offloading, but again, good as it looked, Toulouse are playing a long way out, and then they get turned over. The try came from just such a moment of mistake from Toulouse, and now suddenly, one man down, Saracens have a chance to regain the lead. Just think, in terms of discipline, they want to play elsewhere. Fritz making a lovely run. But really, all of the quality at the moment we're seeing from Toulouse is coming from their pack. Hargreaves, that's a super tackle there. Big hit on Nyanga.
Well, the South African really meant that, didn't he? Second season of Heineken Cup rugby. And in the starting lineup today, as George Cruz goes back down to the bench, having started last week.
Now Owen Farrell, he's had one conversion straight under the post, one which even you and I could get. Can he make a big difference in this match, doing what McAllister couldn't do, the difficult kicks, turning them into points?
100% last week. No, not 100% this week now.
not often, Miles, when Toulouse travel in the Heineken Cup, especially in the early rounds, you accuse them of trying to overplay from deep, but I definitely think in the first half hour, if they watch the tape of this game, they'll say, what are we doing? Just get our basics right.
Struggle about to come back out the sin bin.
Hey, no, I didn't blow whistle. Somebody in the crowd must have blown it. I haven't blown it. Go again, okay? I didn't blow the whistle. Must be somebody in the crowd.
The world stopped for a split second.
Interesting, the use of time there will allow Strettle back on. It shouldn't, and Nigel Owens rightly says after the restart of the game, next break in play, Strettle can return. Maybe our friend in the crowd with the whistle had a master plan. Hargreaves taking well, he's contributing well, isn't he now?
Very good player.
Brits, Wigglesworth. Brits again. Getting away from Census Johnson, which is advisable. Hargreaves really putting himself about. He's got heavily involved in there again. In goes Borthwick, almost as if to say to the referee, that has to be a penalty. The captain made his point, and Farrell might well get the points.
Well, McAllister's missed one sitter, but you wouldn't imagine Farrell will do that from this range. That's a lovely take from Hargreaves. Textbook stuff there. Makes the big tackles, stretches very high. Just tells you about the strength and depth in South African second row play, doesn't it? Warned once, Fritz. He's saying he's on his feet. Nigel Owens saying he's not. Fritz might well be saying, well, I was pulled off them, but he's warned.
But he only just missed the last one, but then again we said that with McAllister. But Owen Farrell, normally so reliable. He's got nothing really to prove, even at his age, when it comes to kicking a goal.
Big match temperament, Owen Farrell. You always feel if it's a close game and it depends on goalkeepers, Saracens have an advantage today.
McAllister restarts. 15 versus 15 again. It's number 13, the first try scorer of the night. Saracens, Chris Wiles. Vunipola. Wigglesworth. That's hard work to get there, and Maydon never did. Strettle looks for the ball. Dusan. Poitrenaud helps out his scrum half. It was hard for Poitrenaud to get out of the way, but I don't think he was looking to do so. I have to say that was a clever bit of play by Poitrenaud, and the way he guarded Dusan in what was emerging as a potentially dangerous situation. Alex Good, Billy Vunipola with him. Good when he catches it right. How about Farrell off the kicking tee? Not got anything to prove. Well, same can be said of Alex Good. When he kicks out of hand like that, we see it time and time again.
It's the vision as well, you know. It's not just the kick, it's the ability to see that space. And here's what looks a little bit like a shelter, and here as Medard misses the ball, awful. Good now. It's not just about the quality of the kick, it's seeing the space, and that's an absolute beauty there.
Tolofua, he's going to have to help out again. Wasn't the most convincing of line-outs, was it? Here's Billy Vunipola, offloads, and there are plenty of men on that far side of the field. One of them is Taylor, tried to go through. Through comes Gallant to put pressure on, and the referee is going to blow up for the not forward.
Advantage over.
Taylor had support. He backed himself. Mark McCall knows it's going to be a game of when the chances have to be taken.
Well, look at this. 1, 2, 3 men there, and where are Toulouse? They have just got the one man, and he has got an amazingly difficult job. Does he cover him, or him? That pass goes to hand. It's on. A little floated pass, perhaps. Ashton had done really well. Right wing, he'd worked his way around, and that gives the extra man. Nyanga under pressure at the front of the line out, turned over in their own 22. Vunipola knocks Galan backwards. Lovely offload, and now it's on. It's a difficult pass. Maybe it's the floated ball, because Toulouse defended well initially, but Ashton had made the extra man there. Hard pass, but a possibility.
Time on.
Got those caps on the summer tour, all as a replacement.
Get your head to the side.
It was one of those occasions when he backed himself, just couldn't get those arms free.
Time on. Saracens, get your head on the outside. Head on the outside. Time out.
No pains, boys. No penalties. Cut it off. Cut it off.
It's better. Time on. Crouch. Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
Well, that one's not going anywhere. Dusan and McAllister. Good second time, but he had time. Ashton, oh, good straightening from Ashton. Runs into Dusan. Makes a strong shoulder there, the scrum half, to stop the Saracens and England winger. Brits. Berger. Wigglesworth. Vunipolas.
Lovely offloading.
Wigglesworth again to Farrell, and then Struckle looks for the handoff. Significant minutes in this match now. Both sides know it. Half-time approaching. If another half chance comes Saracens' way, really will need to take it. They've got a free hit at goal there with Farrell's drop goal. It's going to be a penalty as the drop goal goes narrowly wide, so it will be points of some sort here.
And they're points that Saracens need, because Toulouse have an incredible impact bench up front. You look at that pack. Gertrude Steenkamp, the Springbok international spearhead, one of the best impact packs you'll ever see. Chili Boy Ralapele, Montez, Lamboulay, and that man Miloslavski, and then picking them all, Louis Picamol at the back to come on and just surge the game. We haven't even talked about Jano Verman and Gael Fuku behind. So Saracens, I think, need in the first 15 minutes to build themselves a little bit of a lead, and they can do that because, frankly, Toulouse haven't worked out what to do at half-back. McAllister's playing poorly, but I don't think Dusan has given him any help at all. I don't think the pack are, and I don't think the chase game of Toulouse is that good. So Saracens probably to go 6 points up, but Toulouse, big bench, big problems.
And changes having to be made. Luke McAllister, but his night just gone from bad to worse. Won't have great memories of Wembley, Luke McAllister. Wish him well with that injury. On comes Jano Vermaat. Scrum half, of course, from South Africa. The Bulls. Dusan can cover fly half as well as his starting position of 9.
Classic French way. Classic French, like Elissalde, who's now backs coach, 9 or 10.
Here's Farrell. There's the 3 points that Saracens worked really hard for there.
Yeah, I think without the ball, Saracens have been better than Toulouse. Without the ball, Toulouse have been poor. And I think most of the constructive, creative rugby we've seen, a lot of it has come from Toulouse, but most of the errors that matter have also been from the away team, and that's why they're losing.
Looks a picture Wembley, doesn't it? And it's making a noise again now. Poor old McAllister in genuine pain there. Steve Borthwick going up. So with Borthwick and Hargreaves soaring and taking like that, it gives Saracens a real security blanket on the restarts. Or 22 dropouts. Vermaak at scrum half and Dussant, as we thought, at fly half.
Galland had no right to hold that ball. That was incredible.
Vermaak again. Dussant coming back after his latest niggling knee problem. Dussant.
Saracens advantage if you want.
Saracens don't want.
And you're just thinking again, Toulouse, put the ball down there. They're just meandering around at parts. This is a good kick from Richard Wiggles, but look at Galan here. Hit by 1, 2, 3. Billy Vunipola comes, Mako comes, Strettle can't get him, Berger can't get him, Brits can't get him, Billy Vunipola comes, Mako Vunipola comes. That ball has to come out the way of Saracens, but it doesn't. A giant number 8 somehow finds its way back with a little flip there on hand. Straight play.
Almost Yeti-like strength there from Gillian Galan. And remember, Pickamole still to come, normally 23, as a back 3 player. Well, Pickamoles can run like one.
Fascinating 2 minutes, you know. Saracens have taken advantage of Toulouse's slips. They put good pressure on. They could nick themselves another penalty or a drop and go in 16-7. That's just a little bit of daylight there. 13-7.
I want to ask you again. Come over a bit. There. Too far over. That's better. Time on. Stop! 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 Shoulder, please. Crouch! Bind! Set! Yes, 9.
There goes Vunipola off the base, getting a little bit more of a platform now to do that.
Turnover set.
But Toulouse have won it at the breakdown, and Nyanga and it's Maestri.
Advantage. Turnover
Saracens with advantage, looking to take it this time. High bounce for Strettle, too high, but Taylor was there, and now it's Wigglesworth. Was that forward? It was. Ashton rather gave the game away. I think the referee was fully aware anyway.
Split-second call, wasn't it? I thought Nigel Owens had played quite a long advantage for a knock-on anyway. Just as well. Vunipola hasn't made that many yards. The turnover is superb. Dussant, French captain. He's off his feet when he takes that one, but... And there's Farrell with the chip. It bounces back horribly against Toulouse. And just at this moment, Nigel Owen says advantage over, and it was just as well for Toulouse.
At the moment, Toulouse will be pretty happy if they leave here with a bonus point. We were talking about it before the match. That will suit the Toulouse psyche. Losing bonus point, job done. Let's get back to the home game in round 5 and show them what we can really do.
And that's a weakness of French rugby, because they have a pack to go for this game. But looking at the first half, they haven't played in the right parts of the field. They put themselves under pressure, and Saracens, to their credit, when they have been given opportunities, have scored tries, or they have kicked penalties. So, you know, there are worries for Saracens, because there's a mighty bench going to come on for Toulouse. it's going to be like a second wave and it's going to hit them hard. But right now, discipline-wise, Saracens are the team who just seem to be in control of themselves that little bit better than Toulouse. You sense it's going to be tight.
Yet there is a clear way for Toulouse to win this match if they can play in the right areas, use those forwards, and if they want to. And that maybe is the key, if they want to.
Hold there, hold! Yes, Knight!
The marks put in. Both front rows standing up that time. Galan, oh, look at the power again from Galan, and it keeps on going. Nyanga always in support with him, Uge and Maestri. The subtle touches to follow the less subtle charge upfield from Galan, but it's Saracens who hold their nerve, hold their discipline and get the ball. There's Taylor. Wigglesworth.
Sums up the first half, a break in your own half, then they get turnover, and now they're under pressure.
Hargreaves sets it to Wigglesworth. And Brits, oh, he's gone through. Did really well, he was stumbling all the time. Good, out it goes. And that is half-time. Saracens with a lead. They've had to work really hard for it. Although, in other ways, they were gifted some of the points. Certainly the try for Wiles, although it was taken rather well. So Saracens, half-time, leading by 13 points to 7. Brad was making the point there in studio at half-time. What a brilliant finish it was from Saracens in the first half. Of course it was. Toulouse have got to be very much aware of that potential for turnover and how Saracens can bounce. The French clubs simply have to play in the right areas. Saracens, can they keep them away in those threatening positions? We saw what they could do with the Tolofua try, and Wigglesworth takes it out for the first line-out. It was 100% of the line-out last week against Zebra, and 5 steals. Different proposition against this Saracens line-out. Borthwick and Hargreaves have been excellent again.
Yeah, Miloslavski's come on, he's a big engine. It's not a great line-out forward. Big Joe Takori now, key man perhaps.
1, 2, 3, you're driving the front the guy with the ball.
Obstruction. There was a hint of that on the try when Ferreira got cut adrift. But it was just so
dynamic, wasn't it?
The momentum was just so strong, the referee could not argue with that one.
Well, they're almost driving against nothing, weren't they? So, very different to that circumstance. And what a difference, you know. Toulouse, when they're in that corner in the first half, made a right mess getting out. Wigglesworth just banged it 40 metres. They get the penalty. Andy Farrell, a great proponent of not messing about in your own half, would have been impressed with his former club, the way they've started this half.
A few late returnees to their seats. Seems to be the case at Wembley. It's the empty seats on Tuesday night for the football after half-time. Wigglesworth and Berger. That's Brits. Farrell. David Strettle went off for 10 minutes in the first half for his early tackle. That's Matt Stevens.
Block the sets, please.
And Wigglesworth again as Saracens look to get their machine working. There goes Ashton, whose lines in the first half were superb. Wiles, the try scorer, who benefited from the Ashton line. Wigglesworth again, all they are lining up, wanting it. Hargreaves almost in the way there because the big beef was coming from the Vunipola brothers. Brits enjoyed playing here before. He's done well there. And Schubert also does well to fall the right way. Vunipola on to Taylor. Farrell going wide to find Ashton. He's looking for work, isn't he? Wiles to Farrell. Makavanapola takes it well. He just loves situations like these. Never lets his side down. Lovely service there from Berger. And good. Again, judges it to perfection.
Back three contenders for England going well. Good, kicking superb. Just look at this here from Chris Ashton. Just a little bit, but just watch how he fixes the man. The line just steps in, and that makes the difference. Ashton, a finisher, out, check, in, fixes his man. In the end, Toulouse do very well, but he's all over the place. He's roaming at the moment. He's got Brits with that double step of his. Clever little offload.
Tolofua and Vermaak got that right at the touchline from an impossible angle, it seemed. Ashton to good again. And Taylor to avoid the referee as well there. Borthwick.
No, stay.
Wigglesworth tries, I think, from Toulouse for a knock-on, but the referee right on top of it again. It's Hargreaves, who got through a lot of work in the first half, in attack and defence. Berger showing off his scrum half skills moments ago. There's the real one, Wigglesworth. And he finds Farrell and Taylor, and then Joubert. Jose Gear with the tackle, the New Zealand All Black. Scored his 100th Super Rugby try in the summer. He'll chip over the top, and the mark is called for by another former Super Rugby man, Jano Vermaak.
Saracens will be quite pleased though. They pinned Toulouse deep in that territory. Last line out from there, and there's a hint how Saracens can win this game as Jano Vermaak is looking tidy. Clears. Tolofua under massive pressure. Milosavsky comes on, but Saracens are getting men up in the air there, and Vermaak has got horrible ball. I mean, stats will say that's a line out one, and the South African has made a lot out of very nothing there. And Saracens look at that and they say, territory, let's put the heat on Toulouse's line out.
I know there's not much Tolofua could have done there, but he does not amble after he throws it to the line out. He doesn't look interested after he's thrown the ball.
Just that insouciant way they have in Toulouse. The talonneurs.
Samita, lads, stay where you are now.
William Savat wasn't like that, was he?
Don't move, Saracens, they're fine.
No Yannick Grew. That's nice darts from Scope Brits.
What a contrast in the line out, hey? Wobbly old throws from Toulouse, bang from Brits.
And Brits certainly doesn't amble around near any line out or any situation for that matter. Now, that's a nice one for Saracens. Get a little bit back. With a rolling maul of their own. In midfield, Billy Vunipola looks for Ashton. Ashton's looking good. Vunipola again. Needs a bit of help. Even Billy Vunipola. He's done well. Stevens. Brits again. Stray boot, doesn't put Wigglesworth off. Farrell goes wide, finds Ashton. Something's going to happen again for Chris Ashley this second half, you can feel it.
That's great.
There's Chris Wiles. Wigglesworth. Jacques Berger. Good retention here from Saracens. Mako Vunipola. Alex Good, can he get free? Not quite. Falls for Brits though. Tackle from Gallan on the floor. Needs to get back on his feet. In comes Census Johnson on Steve Borthwick. He knew it was coming. Wigglesworth out to Farrell. They made some dents in roads here to create some space. Really are rolling up their sleeves here, Saracens. Good. On it goes to Ashton. Ashton with a little chip. Looking to get on the end of it. He's got on the end of Jano Vermaak. Toile was very quickly back there, forming the perfect shape. True class from the French international captain. And Toussaint gets the ball away, but Saracens are building here.
Well, either through the boot or arcing lines. Alex Good's having a very good second half, isn't he? Comes round to the middle, lovely break there. He creates a space for Aston. Very good defence in the end from Toulouse. That's a sweet little check there from the full-back, and that's intelligent from the right winger. But Mark does ever so well, and as you say, Toussaint saves the day. But it's all Saracens at the moment.
Galan goes, that means Picamoles arrives. And Chilibore Ralapelle, the Springbok international, over 20 caps, he replaces Tolofua. There's Picamoles. And Ralapelle too. Brits throws to Borthwick. Saracens yet to go to their bench. And Joubert. Stevens, knock on.
Well, he wouldn't call it a siege, but the second half has belonged almost totally to Saracens. And if we look at the tackle count in this half, you can see Toulouse have been, well, on the back foot, I think would be a fair way to describe it. But only one, they defended very well, only the once. When Farrell's little flip pass to Alex Good put them into space, did Mark McCall's team look as if something was happening. But they're building and they're patient and they're in control at this moment. It's a great game, hasn't he, Alistair Hargreaves, not just in the lineup, at the restarts, those set pieces, so good, and he's carrying the tackle. Superb game from the Italian.
Neil de Kock is on for Saracens. And also Kelly Brown. And Joel Tompkins too. So, wasn't long before Mark McCall decided to turn to his bench as well. There's the England squad man caught up into the full squad this week. Ready for it now, said Mark McCall on Wednesday. He's dealt with the big games as Tompkins. And this is a big match environment. Big situation too in this pool. Neil de Kock wanted to get on with it.
Seeing with Joubert going off, Billy Villipona will be moving to number 8, and Stuart Lancaster, Andy Farrell, Atal will be very interested to see what happens in the next half hour. It's a free kick, so they couldn't go for the line-out because it would have been Toulouse's throw. They're going for the scrum.
The brothers still not playing against each other. Two playing with each other, Vunipola brothers, but the Johnsons on opposing sides tonight. James yet to come off the bench.
Yes, 9.
Well, it's much better from Saracens at the scrum, and they've got a penalty for it. Could sense that Toulouse that time were desperate to get the ball away quickly, feeling the decision was coming when it did come.
Yeah, Guthro Steenkamp, Springbok International, is penalised there. Saracens will be delighted because this is a significant penalty with half an hour to go. Farrell can take his team out of the converted try range. That just puts a little bit more pressure on Toulouse. Not just to win this game, but to get in there. Matt Stevens, weathering the storm, and he's coming back for more against Steenkamp.
If ever a picture told a story there about how much toll a scrum takes on these guys, Matt Stevens there, a picture of effort. Big kick then for Farrell. But they're the ones that he thrives on, the big ones. Owen Farrell again for his team, 16-7.
That's more than just 3 points. Saracens have taken 9 clear. At the moment, it puts them into a 4-0 match position, and that would be a real treasure for Saracens. They could deprive Toulouse from getting anything. Pressure fully on the French.
Said picture of effort from Stevens. Well, that was a picture of technique there from Farrell on that kick. Picamole's not clean. Strettle pushed it backwards. Then did Berger control it? Well, it's gone Saracens' way.
Strettle knocked it backwards, and I think he knocked it into Picamole, and Guinoves doesn't see eye to eye with Nigel Owens. But Strettle initially. Wow, that's tough. It does go forward. It does go forward off Picamole. Then it's knocked backwards from Strettle. Great call from Nigel Owens.
Too far apart. Good. Your hand is on the ground.
Reviewing an international battle with good for a Steenkamp. Steenkamp just back from the Rugby Championship, of course. Approaching the 50 cap mark for the Springboks now. Stevens, a man who could well have played for the Springboks, chose England instead.
Set. Yes, 9. Good.
A bit loose on the binding there, the referee. Picamoles comes away for Toulouse, so Guinoves will think that's justice.
A rarity against the head and a penalty.
Just when Saracens were getting some control back at the scrum.
Well,
more than that.
Well, just when Saracens are getting some control in this game. The first 13 minutes of this half have been all theirs. Florian Fritz thinking about it. He has got a bit of a siege gun, but I don't think he's got that distance, and they go for the more conservative option of the left boot of Maxime Médard.
Which is a very useful option indeed. Remember the days of Cedric Haymons, he would have been getting the driver out at that point to have a go, but Haymons now helping to run the academy at Toulouse.
Big blow that for Saracens, that scrum against the head. And you can see Berger being warned. A little bit like Florian Fritz in the first half. He got a warning, he went back for seconds, he got penalised.
Well, as Neil de Kock gets some treatment for that cut, we'll just reflect on this fact. It is a record crowd for a pool game in the Heineken Cup in the United Kingdom. Over 60,000, and simply blows away the previously excellent crowds here for 2 Heineken Cup games against Leinster and Ospreys. One lost by Saracens, one won, but the crowd figures were nearing 46,000 for Leinster and just over 41,000 for Ospreys. But those home supporters will be a little bit nervous here, because Toulouse now seems been a long time since they've been in this sort of position, but they are in it now, attacking away, trying to get themselves back in this match. Miloszlewski. Nyanga, no faulting his effort tonight. Remarque forced to wait by the forwards. That's Radapelle. Remarque now. There's Fritz. Now Saracens trying to turn this over by holding the man up. Have they done it? Yes, they have.
Down to another ball.
Well, you know, that's significant because 2 years ago, Saracens were blown away by Clermont Auvergne in Watford, physically at the breakdown at the game line. Last year, Toulon just smashed them. And right now, against the power of Toulouse, they're holding their own. Really clever attack from Toulouse, but in the end, Fritz, a very powerful centre, is stopped dead. And it's not just forwards, it's the likes of Strattle off the left wing, Kelly Brown off the bench. Saracens have been the best team in England so far this season at the contact, at the breakdown. But in previous years, that has sometimes been the case. But in Europe, they've been blown away. No one's blowing them over at the moment.
I was with somebody yesterday who was recalling that game against Clermont. Said, I don't know much about rugby, it's a rare game that I went to see, but I knew one thing that day, that Saracens had been beaten up. And it was a very good description of what happened on that day, and they vowed that day to change.
But they got beat up by Toulon in the semi last year, so they've had 2 bites at the cherry. Is today the day we see them say, yeah, they know what they can do? Still a long way to go, though.
And still in a spot of bother here, as they failed to clear their lines from the scrum. Gave themselves a great chance to clear. Fighting for it on the floor and getting it back. Great tenacity from Saracens. And Farrell, unlike McAllister in the first half, I don't want to be too cruel on McAllister because he got off injured and it's just not been a good night for him. But before he was injured, he was not doing that. Farrell making the right angle. And you mentioned Toulon. Stuart, tomorrow, what a day we have in store. First on, Cardiff Blues against Toulon. Then after that, it's Leinster against Cast. All on Sky Sports 2, and Munster against Gloucester. And of course, that's just on the main channel, on the red button. Plenty of offerings too. Here's Pickermont. Don't forget the Australia-New Zealand clash in the morning, and that's an hour earlier than normal. It's the way the clocks are at the moment. Don't get caught out by that. 7:25 we're on air for that one in the morning. Ougier's run, Vermaat. And again. Census Johnston trying to see off Tompkins. Goes to Core. Vermaat again to Pickermoles. Got to try and stand firm here, Saracens. This is Toulouse moment. They've had a strong 10 minutes here. Pickermoles. Pick and drive really here. Vermaat. Referee waving it on, Steenkamp. Here's Dussatois. Lovely little ball off to Miloševski. The subtle touches return amidst all this power. Vunipola, good power from him. Stevens in danger of giving the penalty away there. Just resisted. Vermaat to Miloševski. Crowd getting really stuck into this as well. There goes Zaralapelli. Owen Farrell.
He's done well.
And he's won the penalty.
Stratton, every one of those phases. Saracens were getting their first man there before Toulouse every time. And Owens felt that they were never protecting their body weight. When Farrell did, he gets in there first. And Toulouse, all that slow ball and phase ball amounts to nothing. Apart from one offload by Louis Pickermole, it just didn't move the point of the attack. And in the end, when your ball is that slow, sometimes you can go 15, 20 phases, and Owen Farrell's going to come and he's going to nick your ball. Great play from Saracens, but Toulouse, they just need a little more fluidity in their game.
Farrell was right on the edge, wasn't he? He made the tackle, he just hinted to the referee that he'd release and straight back in there, but it was very close.
But just about every time until then, you heard Nigel Owen saying, let go. So what Saracens were doing, they get their hands over the ball, the referee warns them, they take their hands away, and in that split second, your chance of good attacking ball had gone. That is brilliant defensive work from Sarries.
Well, there goes Census Johnson. He won't be on against his brother. And on comes Johan Montes. You can see there his eye, it closed up during the game last week. I don't know how he continued, really, but he did. And Gregory Lambolet comes on. Old mate of Miloševski, used to be with the Massif of Paris all those years ago. Both joined Toulouse 12 years ago. Came as a package, big package. We needed a few stamps. There's Farrell. They're taken by Maydar. Gear, hardly seen him really. Lambolet, and that's good hands early on from Montes. He had both eyes open there, all right. Maydar again. Vermark off to Dusan, and there's a bit of confidence growing here. A lot of confidence, really, from Toulouse. And Toukori goes through, and Vermark shows great pace. Gets the pass off to Maydar, on to Steenkamp. Ogier again was looking Ashton-like to try and come through on that line. But there's Lambolet and Maydar, and if Saracens survive this one, they really will have done well. Fritz, Vermark again. Ogier once more. It's Farrell with another tackle. Vermark. But there seems to be enough defence everywhere you look. Pick them up. Correct, fanning out from Saracens. They're not overcommitting to the breakdown or the tackle. They're trusting each other, and it's working. In goes Makuvunapola. There's Vermark off again. Finds Gear.
It's come alive.
Dusautois. Quattrino, it's loose. And they've done it again, Saracens.
Well, that's fascinating. We saw Toulouse near their best when they get their offloading game going. Medard starts with the catch. It's very hard for Saracens to slow them down when they can move it out of the tackle. Vermark very quick, but it makes it impossible to just slow them down for that split second. But when Toulouse get to the Saracens 22, Saracens go back into the mode of making the tackles. Toulouse go into the mode of one-on-to-one, go to ground, and it's being slowed down. And at that moment, Sarries take defensive control of the game.
And Stuart, they really look like a side that hasn't lost this season. They are trusting each other and believing.
And Toulouse are looking like a team full of talent who have lost just about everything on the road, and that could be the big difference here.
Three Saracens changes. I think they're all in the front row. Stevens goes, Brits goes. Makuvunapola goes as well. It is, it's George, Breeskill and James Johnson, brother of Census, comes on now. Played against each other when it was Toulouse versus Harlequins, didn't they? In the 2011-2012 season when James was with the Quins. Pressure on the new Saracens front row. Neil de Kock away.
Does Medard come back with the ball in hand?
Yes, he does. Takes on Vunapola. Vermark. He looked quick, didn't he, going through the middle. Hargreaves again. In goes Berger. Ogier. Lovely. Well, it was. How frustrating.
That line, Miles, lovely. Well, it was. So much of Toulouse tonight. Little bits and pieces, and you get all excited as a rugby purist, and then suddenly, here we go, little dummy check, beats a couple of players, And then the impossible ball, what are you doing? Saracens, far more percentage based in their rugby, and it's producing a winning platform at the moment. Nobez, it's not just about winning. Nobez knows his team need to get within 7 points, or 7 points down from Saracens. They need 3 points from somewhere.
Concerned looks. Nobez restless, increasingly so on the touchline, knowing the importance, as you say, of that bonus point. Both sides fancying big against Zebre, of course they are. Saracens get the Italians in round 3 or 4 before Christmas. Just the one penalty in this second half, but it's a big one.
40 minutes without Toulouse troubling the scorers. That's super defence from Saracens, and in the last 20 minutes, this third quarter, they have played the total game pretty well.
Hand in the scrum there. Don't think the officials saw it from Jacques Berger. Doesn't matter in a way, because Toulouse have the ball, although that is a penalty offence and Toulouse would have loved to kick into the corner. Steenkamp. Down goes George. Been told to leave it by the referee. It's on the Toulouse side, but Vermaak has to play it and does. Fritz. There's Dusan. On to Poitrenaud.
Have we mentioned Clement Poitrenaud, apart from knocking on that ball for the try? Very quiet.
Vermaak. Dusan. Good work by Tompkins there, cutting out any supply to the wide men. And he goes in to make a tackle on Lamberlet.
Away! Practice call!
Vermaak again to Pickermols. Once more Hargreaves is in the driving seat of the defence. Up she goes again, and Alex Good beaten to it by Poitrenaud. Is in the game now. Maydar. Vermaak. Fritz, his side choosing that time to put it back a little bit deeper. Miller-Schlusky, ball is out, and Pickermols arrives. Needs to get on with it. 5 seconds these days. Penalty.
3 points here. Toulouse have been playing Heineken Cup rugby too long to even think of anything else.
Well, this is their first staging post, isn't it, in the recovery? And actually, unbelievers, if they left with a 16-10 scoreline, they'd be pretty happy. Make me too happy.
Well, they've won a lot of Heineken Cups when they've lost away games and taken things back to the fortress in Toulouse. No doubt at all what is happening here. Dusan is going for a kick he should get. And Toulouse, Nobez will be thinking, OK, Connacht's a difficult away game, but if we get a decent night, we can win. We could possibly get 4 tries. Saracens didn't. We get them at home. We beat them 16-6. If we go through as pool winners. Both these teams have got a great chance, but you win the pool, you're at home in the quarters.
Dusan kicks for the score that puts Toulouse back within bonus point range. That's where they feel comfortable now. Can they kick on from there? Will Saracens let them? Sandy Farrell, ex of Saracens, now of England, looks on, intrigued by this encounter, as we all are. There's the strike from Dusan. Up goes Ashton, taken by Maydar. And Ralapelle. You can rest assured that that scenario that you took us through is in Guy Novet's famous notebook.
Oh, yes.
Diagram is drawn already.
Saracens back.
Don't win 4 Heineken Cups because you don't know how it works. Toulouse certainly do. Vermaat. Toussaint. So man had to get out of the way there. And it created that uncertainty and delay, and therefore mistake.
Shambolic from Toulouse. Medard did the first part really well. He's been solid at full-back. Got themselves the position, but there are Toulouse players just standing around in the way of Toussaint, and that's a mile out. It's a foot out, and a foot might as well be a mile. Saracens now, they've got to be thinking, right, we're winning this game, but let's take that point away from them. We've now got the battle for the win, and we've got the subplot, the battle for the points. What I love about the 2 stages of the Heineken.
There's Brits. Sorry, George. Replaced Brits. Borthwick. Oh, good stuff there from Johnston. Said that a few times tonight, the other way around. The team, brother. Ashton. Reece Gill again. Just a Toit. Quattrino. Chance here. Uge down the line, and he can fly. He's put a little bit too much on that. But Alex Gordy's going to have to stand firm here, and he's driven over the line. Toulouse are eyeing the victory now, not just the bonus point.
Well, Uge has played well, hasn't he? And I think he does absolutely brilliantly. I wondered initially whether he could have gone further, but boy, this is a big turnover. Toussaint, the fly half, gets the rip. Toussaint with the hand, and then he puts it down. The weight is brilliant. He's gaining on Good, and this is just raw power and determination. He's got mates there to help him. That is a 70-metre turnover of some substance.
Now can Toulouse rediscover that forward power, the switch that they had pressed down, deep down in the on position in the first half. Can they do it here at this scrum? Saracens have been forced to defend an awful lot of this second half now. After a strong start to it from the home side, it's been backs against the wall, and it's Pickamoles, and Pickamoles for the line. Did he get that down on the line? Nigel Owens comes round. Pickamoles, is that the face of a man who scored?
Got it.
Different sort of question this time. Straight yes or no.
It's a very clever wheel. It opened it up. Pickamole is a man who can smash doors down. Doesn't get it down. Well, then he does. I mean, real time. He's hit the line, hasn't he? There's a boot that tries to stop him. Doesn't get there initially. But look, there's no secondary movement. That's on the line. No.
We're going to see this now, I think, in real time, because that is key here. Whether it all happens in one movement from Pickamoles.
Well, it's hit the line. It's hit the line. It's a try.
Nigel, you can't award the try. Yes.
Pickamoles had the face of a man who had scored. This Wembley stage was always going to bring the best out of these Toulouse performers, and we've seen it now in the second half in all its glory, and Toulouse are in front.
We have seen the very best of Toulouse. What we've seen is an ability to strike when they need. That's a clever scrum. Has that gone 90? That's the question Saracens will ask. There's no questions about the finish from Louis Picamole. Brought on for impact, possibly Europe's biggest impact forward. He has done the job to perfection.
Alistair Hargreaves goes off, and on comes George Cruz. straight into action. Man who's man of the match against Munster at Vicarage Road last season. Needs that kind of performance now. Hargreaves was going really well, but he'd given so much, maybe he was running on empty. Suddenly, not even having a losing bonus point, Toulouse have victory in their sights, and Billy Vunipola coughs up the ball, and Alice Good needs that to sit down. Finds Ashton.
Saracens stay.
10 minutes for Saracens to sort this. Isaiah Gear off to Maydar. That's what he should have been doing earlier. That's what Toulouse should have been doing earlier, the halfbacks. Now they are doing it, and now they're winning.
Maxime Maydar has been very mature today. We know about his flight to fancy and his brilliance. 17-16 up, he's showing the pragmatic side to his game that we haven't seen in his young and very exciting career. That's an absolute beauty. We've seen two lovely kicks from Alex Good like that. That's the pragmatic side of French rugby.
Trouble here for the English Premiership leaders. Jamie George, out of the shadow of John Smith, would have learned so much of Smith and Brits too. These are very important minutes in Saracens' season.
Wow. Will be a big blow for Saracens. When they go in the early part of next year to Toulouse, they will not want to be chasing a win. It's possible, but you can see now Toulouse 9 points after 2 games, Saracens 5 as it stands. If Saracens have to go to Toulouse to get the win, like I say, it is not impossible, but it is improbable, and Saracens would be looking at the moment for one of the best places, 7th or 8th, best runners-up.
I think when most people looked at this pool, it was identified as one where 2 teams could conceivably come out, would be favourite to come out. I mean, all is not lost for Saracens, but this would be a setback, no doubt about that, as Gael Fickou comes on. Injured his ankle in training last week, therefore missed the opening match against Zebre.
And it's fair to say it would be hard to expect Toulouse not to be better than this when they're at home. They have nothing from their fly half for half an hour. They've done some crazy things and they lead the game still. That is worrying.
And you're starting to think here about, could Toulouse deny Saracens a losing bonus point?
Oh, I don't think their ambition is that great. It's possible, but blimey.
Well, let's see if they keep playing. They look in the mood now. They really do. That was just a twat. Vermaak. Toussaint. They clearly came here with a very positive attitude, the way they started the match. Running from deep, but now they're spending the majority of the game inside the Saracens' half.
This is where they should have been running from in the first half. Still a long time to go though. Still plenty of time for Saracens.
Vermaak. Toussaint. It's meant for Uge. Might not be a bad one. Uge goes up, falls inside to Lambolet. Vermaak again. That control is coming now in their kicking game. And it's making such a difference to Corey. Toussaint, who's made a really good job of moving from scrum half to fly half.
Start of this half, all the tackles were being made by Toulouse. It was 35-2. That is just coming back now as the French team take control of this ball patiently.
Well, coming back there on the angle was Ralapelle.
We're out of the realm of speculation now. It's pop and control.
Well, there's no need to force it here from Toulouse. It's not to say they're not looking to score, but the onus is all on Saracens now. Ralapelli again. Billy Vunipola desperately trying to get that ball back on the Saracen side. And can't. This is Maydar. Vermaat. Dusan. Picamoles. Vermaat once more to Dusan again, and here comes Ralapelli again. It's on a string at the moment for Toulouse. They're just bringing it back to the same place on the field. Picamoles. Same move. Well, Ralapelli's down. He's not going to be able to bring it back on the angle. So Dusan goes high and through the middle. Ficou tries to rise. Lamberlet with him. Falls for Johnson. And then Vunipola on the floor. Penalty. Saracens at last have it back.
Exactly what they needed. Because Toulouse, well, it could be 10 metres, it could well be within range for Owen Farrell. Toulouse player threw the ball away. Nigel Owen said to his assistant referee, did he throw it away? And suddenly Owen Farrell has got a little sniff at the post.
He's got to go for this, hasn't he? And Farrell needed no second invitation there. The confidence and steel of the young man, we know all about that. He says, just give me the kicking team.
Senseless. Florian Fritz, the captain's just rolled it away. He probably cannot believe that penalty has been given. But Owens is thinking, 4 minutes to go, Saracens have a right to tap and go quickly. He stopped that. We see it so often not penalised. Right call from the Welshman.
See, if the referee doesn't see it, the assistant does. It was madness. 10 metres that could make all the difference in this match. Farrell lines it up, all 55 metres of it, on the famous Wembley turf. Can Farrell score the goal here? It could be the win. Has it got the legs? Oh, just short. He does score the goal. Goes to the back of the net. It's meant to go over the bar.
It's a heck of a strike.
And Maydar can use time for the 22 dropout. Just right on the edge of Owen Farrell's range.
I mean, that's a great kick because he's not trying to force it. He's given it absolutely everything, and that is less than a metre short. It's a great effort from Owen Farrell.
He has kept his technique, therefore it stayed straight.
Got to get back in position now, at the very least, a shot at the drop goal.
All is not done yet. Billy Vunipola bought for moments like this to set up these situations in big Heineken Cup matches. There's Cruz, Neil de Kock, onto Farrell, little dummy. George driven back by Montez and Dusan. Great combination they proved to be there. Jacques Berger. Another penalty. Not releasing down there. Now,
that's a couple
we
of
sort
meters.
of know, don't we, how far Farrell can get it on this angle.
Now, it's not about the distance for the goal, it's going for touch. Maximum distance to give Sarries an opportunity. He's gone. A little bit safe, but they're within 25. They're within drop goal range. And they've got a line-out that has been peerless most of the night. That's what they've got to remember. The line-out functions.
Find that pocket, Owen Farrell, get comfortable in it. It might be coming your way. It should be coming your way. Borthwick with the call.
Ball's coming his way. Expect Thierry Dusatois to be coming his way as well. But Saracens first are going to want to drive this ball. They've got Billy Vunipola just outside Farrell. They need to make a dent.
So you said 1 minute 20, not 20 seconds. So the stadium clock is correct, yes? It's correct.
Just checking the clock is absolutely right.
Okay, stadium clock is now correct, okay? That's the time that's left. Time on.
Changes, of course,
Inside.
in this line-out. George is now on. Cruz has replaced Hargreaves, but he's taken it, and that bit works well. Saracens go for the big drive. Remember that first half try from Toulouse? Well, Saracens is certainly recalling it here and using that as part of the motivation. But the big motivation is the scoreboard itself. But it's turned over from Toulouse, and they kick long. Alex Good. Very good from him, beating two men there, but he had no right to. Good offload from Farrell too, but they're driven back inside their own half now. Farrell once more. Oh, this is going to be accurate. Came off Uge. Knocked forward. Not deliberately. One last set piece. Saracens need to move to it quickly, and they do. They are ready to scrum. Toulouse a little bit more reluctant to get across to the referee.
This was not the Saracens schedule. This was not the plan to bring Toulouse here and go away with a losing bonus point. They wanted 4-0 at the very least. Right now, they have the solitary point from the home game at Wembley.
Agonisingly lost on this ground to Leinster by 2 points. Even closer today, Toulouse just that slender 1-point margin. But at the moment it's enough. Will that change?
Middle knee, please. Time on.
Does Billy Vunipola just try and do some, get them some momentum before they use the backs?
Bind.
It's been quiet.
Strettel standing in a receiving position off his wing.
I don't see Saracens being able to conjure something first phase off the backs at the moment. They've got to get somebody into the middle. I just think Vunipola picks and goes, but can the pack give the platform for the number 8 to forage over that game line?
Well, that's the conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Neil de Kock might feel he needs to get the ball away so the game is not ended by a scrum decision from the referee.
Well, that's on the quality of the strike. If it's quick, Vunipola goes. If it's messy, you have to move it.
Down again.
Of course, the other thing Saracens could be hoping for is a penalty. And I'll tell you what, Farrell would have another crack.
Anything from 54 metres inwards.
Anybody tries to win the penalty, will be penalised.
He's thinking it. Anyone trying to win the penalty will be penalised. I think Sarries were desperate to go down, and Toulouse, they just want to say square.
It's about bang on 55 metres at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, 9.
Neil de Kock waits. Drive from Saracens. Nigel Owens says up it comes. Reset scrum.
Complete. It is not out. Everybody out.
It's not a decision apart from go again.
We moan about scrums year after year and talk about the amount of time they kill on the clock, and there's 61,000 people there, and every single one of them have their eyes staring at a couple of square metres there. Matt Stevens could see it was a penalty from there.
Unbearable tension in the ground.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
For one last time then. They're going for the push, but there has to be a moment when it's released, and it's now. And it's de Kock to Farrell. And Tompkins. Not close enough yet. Neil de Kock again. Borthwaite with Steenkamp. Getting in penalty range, but not drop goal range. Is it coming back? It is. The Cock to Kelly Brown. Toulouse must hold their discipline. And Saracens know it. They will try and offer the temptation.
Great defensive picking off, so fast.
Out once more. No player can afford to get isolated. And Tompkins didn't. He was looking all the time over the shoulder, and Alex Good was there. This is Cruz. Holds on, nearly came out there in the tackle. Neil de Kock. Every decision has to be spot on from everybody in the red and black of Saracens. James Johnston. His brother set at the moment to be a winner. At the moment, there's Vunipola. Neil de Kock. Farrell to Good. Just desperately want to give themselves a chance to go for the post. Good work by George. That's now the 10-metre line, and it's Brown racking up the phases here. Owen Farrell can't be turned over, and Farrell isn't. Toulouse driving through. Jacques Berger. Still really too far away, but maybe not now. Oh, Kelly Brown makes the break himself.
That is drop goal range.
Somebody left the gate open to the field and Brown went through it. Here's de Kock. Farrell needs not to be carrying, but kicking. Find that pocket, Owen Farrell. George Cruz, now very much within range.
Good, could look at it. Look at Alex Good now, just dropping back.
Yeah, he's gone right back. And fancies it. They're going to have a go at some point. They know that. They can't let it end in a whimper. Neil de Kock wants the protection. It's going back now. Farrell. It's not there. Took a deflection, I think, in flight. Maynard celebrates. And Toulouse have won. They lost to the Ospreys and lost to Leicester on their trips to the UK last season. And it proved fatal as they failed to get out of their pool. But this season, no such early mistake on English soil, on Wembley soil. And that represents a really fine comeback from Toulouse. And Dussantois knows it.
It's a setback for Saracens, but it is not the end of the road. They still have problems with the French teams. Clermont, Toulon, now Toulouse come to London and beaten them. In the end, you would say Toulouse with the power up front just about.